Hi guys, welcome back to the Zero Takes channel. We are back and we are doing a tier list today. Now today is going to be my MCU movie tier list. So I'm going to be ranking these movies. Now I do have my series coming out leading up to uh, Avengers Doomsday. Uh, Kind of re-reviewing all the MCU movies and other relevant movies. I'll make a smaller video about that over the weekend, but this is going to be like my initial or my current ranking before they kind of change. I've watched one so far, and that is Iron Man, and I will say it has gone up for me. So right now is kind of my current headspace with these movies, and then maybe after Doomsday, I'll kind of touch up on this and do a full ranking after that, an updated ranking. But let's just hop right into it with the first ever movie, Iron Man. This is going in A tier. This is such a good and fun movie. It looks amazing. I want to kind of save my true thoughts for this for the video coming out soon, but such a good movie. It's going in A. Next, we have Hulk. I am a Hulk movie hater as of now. Not a true hater. It's not going in F tier. It's going to go in D tier. It's just not my favorite. I haven't watched it in a long time, so hey, it might go up. That's what the whole re-review is going to be. Hoping I can like start enjoying these movies more. Maybe some that I'm a little higher on, lowering them. But Hulk is gonna end up in D tier for me. Just not a good movie in my opinion. But we'll see if that changes. Next, Iron Man 2. It's gonna go right alongside it. I'm not gonna order these, at least not yet. Maybe at the end of the video, seeing how long this video is, I may go back and kind of order them for you. But I think Iron Man 2 might be just like a little better than Hulk. They're kind of on the same level for me in D tier. Just also not a great movie. But who knows? I was pleasantly surprised by the first Iron Man. I may end up, bumping this up to C tier in a year's time. We'll just have to see. Thor. Thor for me is a C tier. Just kind of like an average Marvel movie here. Don't have much to say. There are fun parts about it, and then there are very bad parts about it. It kind of evens out to that C level. Um, One thing I will say is that with the first saga or first phase, some of these first movies are a little dull at some points, and some might be in my lower echelon, but overall, I am a big Marvel stan, big Marvel lover, big fanboy. I'm not gonna shy away from saying that. I'm not gonna, you know, try to play it off. So this is probably gonna be pretty top heavy. I am gonna try to only keep S tier up here, uh, for 5 movies. So it'll be like my top 5. The rest, the A tier will probably be pretty hefty. Just a fair warning. Next we have Captain America, the first Avenger, Cap One. I'm gonna put that in A tier for now. I love the Captain Americas. I'm Team Cap. Um, love everything the movies stand for with his character and his development. This first movie just so nostalgic for me. I've watched this a bunch of times. Looking forward to rewatching it. I just really love this movie. It's a good like period piece, and like his story throughout it. I mean, he grows more in other movies. This is kind of just his start, but something about this movie with him as a scrawny little kid becoming what he becomes, it's just so good for me. So that's going to A. I could see this movie being one that kind of goes down when I rewatch, but hopefully it doesn't. Next is the Avengers. The Avengers is a banger. I'm gonna keep this in A for now before the reorganized, but this could be a contender for S tier. The Avengers just such a great movie, just such a surprise too. Like this movie really shouldn't have worked. It's a miracle that this movie happened because we hadn't gotten anything like this before for like superheroes, and this being as good as it was is just such a surprise and such a good thing that happened. Such spawned such good things from it, and built up to some of the best movies in my opinion. So Avengers again in A tier there. Now we have Iron Man 3. I think Iron Man 3 is a B tier movie. I think it's a lot better than the second one. It's definitely not as good as the third, but I think there's some good stuff with him and his PTSD in this, and him kind of being away from everything, him being with the kid, like out, away from the public, kind of finding himself again. Really like this movie. It's going in B tier. Next, Thor: The Dark World. That's going to be another D tier movie. Now, this is one that I've kind of only watched once and just kind of watched it, thought, and forgot about it. I'm really looking forward to giving this a second watch because I know you get like the introduction to the Reality Stone in this, and you have some stuff like with Thor's mom and stuff with Loki. It's just not one that I to like really remember all that much. So I'm looking forward to giving this a re-review. But in my mind now, Thor: The Dark World's a D tier. Got a pretty symmetrical tier list so far, but it's not gonna be so symmetrical now because now we have Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's going up in S. It was just sitting in B tier, so I can move it up further. Such a good movie. Truly like one of a kind in the MCU for what this movie is. I say one of a kind. Black Widow tries to do what this movie does and doesn't even really get near it. This movie is so great with the Bucky stuff, with Cap's development, him starting to fully not trusting the government. He grows so much as a character. Nick Fury's great. Black Widow's great in this. The villains are great in this. I mean, you have Bucky. You have Robert Redford's character. Can't think of his name right now. And you have like Zola in there. A whole bunch of good stuff. You get the introduction to Falcon. Everything in this movie is just so phenomenal. It's going to be one of my first S tier movies. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is another one along with the Avengers, which could become an S tier for me. I'm going to try to, sort it out at the end. But for now, I'm going to put it in A. Such a fun movie, so different and so kind of revolutionary for its time. Being in space, having not the first to have an amazing soundtrack, because you have movies like Iron Man, which have a really great soundtrack with it, but one that really uses it to its full kind of potential. James Gunn does a great job incorporating these, Z-list characters and making us fall in love pretty much instantly with them. Guardians for a long time was my favorite movie in the MCU before, we got other things later down the line. Holds a pretty special place in my heart, and I'm giving it A for now, but definitely could be one that's moving up. Next up, we have Age of Ultron. This is a movie I am going to put in B tier for now, but it could potentially move up to A for me. I think this movie is really slept on. Yes, it's probably the worst Avengers movie, but I don't think there's a bad Avengers movie. I think this movie is really underrated. The villain, Ultron, he has great moments, great lines. I feel like all the characters work really well together. The introduction to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver isn't the best, but, Scarlet Witch kind of gets fleshed out more and becomes a great character. It's really a shame what happens with Quicksilver, but, that is a downside of the movie. The action in this, probably not as good as any of the other Avengers movies. That's why it's the worst one. But I still think, like, with our core Avengers, it works so well together. And they work so well together. You get good stuff. Like, following up with Hulk, you get great stuff with, Cap and Iron Man again and Thor. And I just really like this movie. I think it's really underrated. But for now, it's going to stick B tier. I may end up moving it up toward the end. But let's move on. We now have Ant-Man, and Ant-Man for me is going to go into B tier as well. Just a really fun movie. Not too high stakes, new character, another origin story here. A little different origin story, but just a real fun movie. I'm looking forward to rewatching this one again. Paul Rudd does a great job as Ant-Man, and, the supporting cast is real fun. Villains kind of lackluster a bit and become something even worse later down the line, which I am not looking forward to rewatching in the slightest. But you know, Ant-Man 1, very fun movie. It's going in B tier. Next, Civil War. Another one that I'm going to slot in A for now, but could move up. I have an idea of like 3 to 4 that are going in S, and a very strong competition for like 8 others that could be the final fifth movie in the S tier. Civil War is such a great movie. You get the dynamic between Cap and Iron Man. You get, it's basically an Avengers movie with the supporting cast. You get the first appearance of Black Panther and Spider-Man in this, and both those characters are done so well in this movie. You get some, like, literally some of the best stuff from Spider-Man and Black Panther in the whole MCU in this movie, along with, you get Vision, who I forgot to say appears in uh, Age of Ultron, of course, but you get Vision, you get all these characters coming together. Like, it's, other than Guardians, all of these characters are really coming together. Guardians, Hulk isn't in it, obviously, but the vast majority of our characters, our heroes, are in this movie pitted against each other, and it's just such a good movie. Zemo's such a good villain, no powers, just the will and hatred for the Avengers, able to win in the end and split them up, and it's just such a interesting concept and such a good execution of this movie. So definitely in contention for S, but staying in A for now. Up next, Doctor Strange. I really like this movie, but I think I'm gonna put it in B for now. It might be top of B for what we have so far. Maybe competing with the Avengers there. Age of Ultron, I should say. But Doctor Strange, such a visually stunning movie. It's another like kind of cookie cutter origin story in a way, but I think that Benedict Cumberbatch plays Doctor Strange very well. I think it's interesting enough. The visuals make it a good movie. I don't think Caecilius is that good of a villain, but Dormammu is interesting. He doesn't do all that much, but that scene at the end is very, it's entertaining, very engaging, and finds a different way to win. And while I would like this to be a better movie, I think it's still a very good one in the MCU. So B tier for me is where this is kind of ranging out to be. Could potentially go up. I'm looking forward to rewatching this one as well, because I feel like this one is one that I can kind of kind of pinpoint. Yeah, this is staying B, or on a second or third. I don't know how many times I've watched this. It might be the fourth time, honestly, coming up. But on this next watch, it might jump up for me into A. But overall, very good movie. Next, Guardians Volume 2. Now, this movie gets a lot of praise and a lot of hate. I'm going to stick it in... It's again, A to B for me. I'm going to put it in B for now. Another contender for top of B. I don't really get the hate. It is the worst Guardians movie, but I also don't think there's a bad Guardians movie. Not a lot happens in this movie, but you can say kind of the same for the first. It just has bigger implications on the MCU as a whole. But I think it has very high highs. It has some pretty big lows. Like in the middle of the movie, it's very, very slow. Like Baby Groot and Yondu and Rocket on the ship with the rest of the group on Ego. Very slow part of the movie. That whole middle part kind of very boring until you get the whole shift with Ego kind of revealing he's bad, and then you get very good stuff with the Guardians after that point, and the end with Yondu's death and funeral is very emotional. It's I think that scene's a top 8. I'll say top 10 just because there's a lot of emotional things that happen in the MCU, but I think it's a top 10 saddest or most emotional moment in the MCU, and that's such a high for me, to where I think it has to be at least B tier. Next up, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. This is a bit of a hot take. It's also going to go in B for me, but my hot take with this is my least favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Another one I'm very, interested in rewatching, because I hold this take. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, but I feel like from what I remember, it's just not my favorite Tom Holland movie. It's still better than, to me, like the Andrew Garfield movies and probably Spider-Man 3, but overall, like I think I enjoy Far From Home more just watching it than I enjoy watching Homecoming. And it just kind of is what it is. I don't love how he is kind of Iron Boy Jr. a little bit. Like he just is a little too attached to Stark in this movie. But I still think it's a good movie. It is my least favorite of the three. And I think it's a good B tier movie for what I have going here. I did say this is going to be pretty top heavy, and now it looks like I'm kind of just focused on B tier for the past few movies. So we'll see if that changes here with Thor Ragnarok, and it does. I really love Ragnarok. I rewatch this movie a lot. It's going in A tier. Um, what can't be said about this movie? This movie's hilarious, in my opinion. Um, some parts work, some parts don't, but has very high highs. All the stuff at the end on Asgard is great. I think the beginning is fun. And I think it's just a fun ride the whole way through. Thor and Loki are great in this movie. Their bond and their brotherhood. Very good story arc for them. And, you get the introduction to Valkyrie. You get Korg and Meek, which good in this movie. Not my favorite in upcoming ones, but work really well. And I just think this movie works well in a whole. You get the Hulk back, which everyone was excited for. I like the Hulk in this movie. This is the last time he's really interesting, to me at least. So I think this movie fits well into the A tier for me. Next up, we have Black Panther. I am going to put Black Panther into B tier for now. There's a chance that I move some of these A or B's up into A, like I said. Black Panther, kind of moving down my rankings a bit overall as a superhero movie, as an MCU movie. It is a great movie. Watching it for the first couple times, is a stunning movie. Killmonger is amazing. I really like T'Challa in this movie. But a lot of the plot, it is another pretty, cookie cutter esque, origin story in a way, following some stuff from Civil War. It's not the most entertaining plot, but and also doesn't look the best. Like the end fight is really bad. The rhinos in this movie are really bad, but the characters and the performances in this movie bring it up. So I think B tier for now is kind of where I want to put it. But also just such a revolutionary movie for what it did in its time. Made $1 billion, and still think it's a great movie. Just gonna sit in B tier for me for now. Next, we have Infinity War, and Infinity War is going to go right up into S for me. I'll just move this one now so I can talk about it. Infinity War is my favorite MCU movie. How they got all those characters to be in this movie and for it to work is insanity. I don't know how they did it. I will never know how they did it, but it worked. It's my favorite. It's just such a great movie. You get everyone. You're only missing Ant-Man and Hawkeye. And I guess you can say the Hulk, but he's still technically in it. But this movie has everything and everyone, has something for everyone. It does the Guardians a little dirty, killing Gamora, making Peter a little bit of a dummy. But other than that, like everyone gets their moment. Everyone gets time to shine. Such a good movie. It's you have like 40 heroes that you have to spread time and importance to throughout the movie, and everyone gets it. And that's without me even bringing up Thanos. And Thanos is the main character of this, and he gets the most screen time, and he's the most interesting character throughout this movie, and it's just so good. I have no other words than just S tier, top of S tier. Next, you get Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is going to go into C for me. This is another one where I only watched it, I think, once. And I'm looking forward to kind of re-reviewing it in the coming months. But another one where it could go up or down. I don't have much to say. It's kind of just like a standard movie, especially for the MCU. And the only thing I can really think of significance for it is, I mean, you get Ghost who, eventually joins Thunderbolts and, it explains why Ant-Man's in the quantum realm for Endgame. So, not much coming from this, but still a decent MCU movie. Next, you get Captain Marvel, also going to go into the C tier. Not the greatest in between these two Avengers movies. Captain Marvel isn't that interesting. Like, I watched it once again and didn't love it at all, really. I wasn't one of the woke mob haters or whatever it was back in that time, hating on her. Thought she was a cool character, but just really not an interesting movie and such like a down, like, I think the whole Captain Marvel aspect or area segment, I guess, of the MCU, like Captain Marvel, the Marvels, and like Secret Invasion and Miss Marvel, you only get like one great project from that, and that's Miss Marvel. The rest, like the Marvels, is fun, which I'll get to, but it's really not anything. Uh, Captain Marvel, not the greatest movie at all, and Secret Invasion is a heaping, stinking pile of shit. So I mean, not my favorite, corner, I should say, of the MCU, but I think C tier works good for Captain Marvel here. Next, we got Endgame, and I'm throwing Endgame up into A tier. It is not the greatest movie. There are serious issues with this movie, but all of the movies that I've talked about here, I'm not counting them up, but all the movies you see on your screen right now lead up and have been building up to this movie, and you get the highest highs of all these movies in this movie, in Endgame. It, Everyone knows what Endgame is. Everyone knows what it's all about. I don't have to talk about how great the final battle is with Iron Man. You get the Cap moments, you get Thor moments, everyone kind of gets their moment. You get the portal scene. I don't have to talk about how great that is because everyone knows how great it is. It's not the greatest movie, but it still isn't, like, it's still in the competition for S because what it gives us for me. Like, it's less of a this is a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 movie and more of a nostalgia factor, like epicness showdown at the end. Just, it gives you what you want to see, it gives you what you need, and that's why it's so high up there. I think everyone kind of knows the deal with Endgame at this point. But next we have Far From Home. I'm also going to throw it into B for now. Another one that can move up. I really like it. I think this is such a fun movie. You get Spider-Man. We've already seen him in space. We've already seen him in New York, sort of, with Homecoming. We've seen him, in Civil War. We get him in Europe now. I think Mysterio was really fun in this movie. I think he's a good villain. Um, I I don't love like all the stuff with the glasses and how he's a lot like Iron Man again, but I think the stuff with Ned and MJ is fun. You know, they kind of learn at that point. I just think it's a really fun movie. And my favorite part, is the end again for this. Most superhero movies, your favorite part's probably going to be the end, but I really enjoy like the whole Spidey sense, drones, trusting the sense, fighting the drones off. That whole, you know, climactic battle at the end with Mysterio is just so good and so fun. And it just makes me enjoy it more than Homecoming. It just does. I know Homecoming's great with the Vulture and, like that twist, and it's got real heart to it, but I think this movie has heart to it as well. I mean, I just think that it's a better movie. I like watching it more. Now, it might flip on rewatch. We're going to see. This kind of why I want to make this video to, get my thoughts down on the MCU before I go back and rewatch it all and have it fresh in my mind so I can redo this later and have a more concrete and, you know, more full view on the whole MCU. But for now, I do think I enjoy Far From Home more than Homecoming. they're on the same tier for now, subject to change. Next, we have Black Widow. Putting Black Widow into C tier. It's not a bad movie. It's a very enjoyable movie for the most part. A very heartfelt, kind of family-centric movie. Black Widow's great. Yelena's great in it. I like Red Guardian. I mean, he's pretty cool. David Harbour does a great job there. Love the mom in this movie. But, like, the villain, both villains, like, Man in the Red Room, I think it's Dreykov or something like that. Like, very forgettable, not very entertaining. It's a very, dull, like, it's like what I said earlier. It's like Winter Soldier light, but, like, very, very light. And it's not really what I was hoping for, and it's at a really weird time where we already have the death of Black Widow from Endgame, and that's kind of like, why are we doing this now kind of thing. So I mean, it's getting C tier for me. It's probably the best movie out of these in C tier, but it really doesn't have too much going for it. Like, Taskmaster really sucks. They that's abysmal what they did with that character. And the whole MCU Taskmaster is just abysmal in its own right, but this movie, just a very C tier movie for me. Next up, Shang-Chi. I really like Shang-Chi. I'm going to throw it in B tier for now. It could move up for me, but for now, B tier feels pretty good. I don't love the dragons at the end, but everything kind of building up to it is very entertaining. I still feel like the action in this is very good. A lot of the family story beats are very good. I don't love the Katie character, but I don't find her as annoying as other people. Still not the greatest character. Another origin story that is good is B tier. I feel like so many of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these movies in B tier are origin stories. And, I feel like that's just the place where they kind of fall. Thor's, I don't think I'd give Thor B tier for now. I'll see after my rewatch, but B tier just kind of seems like that's where the standard origin MCU movies fall for me. Shang-Chi is a great movie. I do really enjoy it. I don't think it's bad, but I also don't think it's quite A tier for me. Eternals. See, I can go C or B tier for Eternals. I think I want to be different today, so I'm gonna throw Eternals into B tier. This movie, I think, is good. I think it's way too long. I think it drags for a long time. I think a lot of it is kind of boring. But I also think in there is a very good story. A lot of people said it should have been a show. It probably should have been a show for what they had in it. But I still think for what we got in the Eternals, we got so many good things. Icarus is a great character. Just most of the Eternals I like. Some of them I don't. I don't want to talk about this movie too much. I'd rather rewatch it, gather my thoughts again, because I've only seen it once, so this is just me going off my theater experience. The Celestial in the ocean is interesting, and I think they kind of muffed that up with Cap 4. I think the powers, like everyone's power in Eternals, works pretty good for the screen. I think it's all pretty entertaining. It's a very busy movie. At the same time, it's a very boring movie. I don't know how they managed to make it like that while it's still being somewhat interesting. But that's just how I feel. I'm going to give it B for now. It's definitely the last movie in B tier, but that's how I'm feeling now. And again, I'm going to reorganize this. It may fall to C. We'll just have to see. Next movie up, No Way Home. Move that up to A tier. A very good movie. Another candidate for potentially S tier. That theater experience for No Way Home is just second to only Endgame, maybe Infinity War. Top 3 theater experience. And what can't you say? I mean, you get Toby and Andrew back with Tom, 3 Spider-Mans. all these villains from the past franchises all coming together. Green Goblin is just a menace in this movie. Doc Ock is a very heartfelt character in this movie. You just get everything Spider-Man in this movie. It's so great. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one again, and I think A tier for now is where it's gonna stay. Next up, Multiverse of Madness, throwing this into C tier. What a generational fumble this movie was, and I was a big defender of it when it first came out. I was like, no, I don't really get what's so bad about this movie. But just thinking back on it and thinking about it, man, it's such a fumble. The Illuminati is, it gives us some cool scenes, but they're so lame. This whole movie is just like everything is happening, but nothing's happening. Wanda's bad after, or Wanda's misguided, I guess you could say, or evil after, going in the dark hold after WandaVision. And I just don't think this movie works. It should have been, like, this movie should have been the linchpin for the multiverse saga, and it just wasn't. And I think, well, this movie and another movie should have been. But it should have been like a core building block for like establishing what the multiverse is and how things can happen, and it sets up incursions and stuff, which I think will be important for Doomsday and Secret Wars. But it's just so loose and unfitting, and just like it doesn't do the connecting that it should have. It doesn't do the heavy lifting in the ground, like the building that this movie needed to do. While it was entertaining to watch and fun things happen, and crazy kills, and you get America Chavez, who's a good character, it just, for what it should have been, just wasn't that. And that's why I'm giving it C tier here. Very disappointing. Now we get into, oh man, Thor Love and Thunder. I've seen this once in theater. It's going in F tier. Talk about disappointing. Almost three in a row, because you get Black Panther next, which I'll get into. Thor 4, Love and Thunder starts pretty good with the Guardians, but you can tell Thor is not gelling with them. After that, it's just such a random, weird movie that just doesn't work. The comedy for me, I get how people compare it to Ragnarok, but there's just a thing in Ragnarok that makes it work. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the characters and the charisma between them compared to what's in Thor 4, but Thor 4 just doesn't work for me. The goats piss me off. The whole floating head is abysmal. The kids at the end, I think, is too goofy. I think we lost the plot a little too much. It's nice at the end that he chooses to, revive love, let Jane Foster go. I didn't think the Jane Foster reintroduction after, you know, not seeing her for so long was kind of, I didn't feel like that was warranted at all. I just don't think this movie works, and it's frustrating because you look here, and if you think back at the MCU, Thor's such a pivotal character, and he's so good in the Avengers, and Ragnarok is so good. And then you look at his solo movies. Ragnarok, I have an A tier. I think it's a great movie. Then you look, Thor 1 and C tier. Admittedly, could go up, could go down. Probably going to stay in C tier for me, based on what I can remember and how I feel about the movie. But then you have Dark World and D. Could go up, could stay. I don't think it'll be an F tier because I think I kind of enjoy that movie a decent enough amount from what I can remember. I gotta rewatch that. But Thor 2 in D tier and Thor 4 in F. Just like such a weird like series of movies for such a important and pivotal character in the MCU who has great moments and who is beloved through, I guess, just not his movies. He's just in all the other movies that he's in, just kind of, I wouldn't say steals the show, but makes a name for himself. And then in his movies, it's kind of just, you know, pretty much nothing burgers. So, yeah, Thor 4, F tier for me. Now we're moving on to Wakanda Forever. I'm throwing this in, I think, B tier, but the more I think about this movie, kind of the less and less I like it. It may end up being a C tier for me by the time we get to the rewatch for this movie. The T'Challa death scene, very sad. Obviously, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. That's a great scene. I think all the deaths in this movie are very emotional. With, Shuri pretty much losing everyone, loses her brother, loses her mom through it within the movie. Has very emotional scenes. I don't think the pairing between the Wakandans against, Namor's clan is the best fit, but they kind of killed off most of the Black Panther villains that are noteworthy. Like, Namor's not really a Black Panther villain. It's more, Claw and Killmonger, and both died in that movie. So, or died in the first movie. So they kind of had to go a different direction. I didn't hate it. It just kind of felt a little odd to me. Um, the whole stuff with Riri Williams kind of just felt thrown in there so that she could get her own show. And, you know, it's a good enough movie to go into B. I just have my second thoughts about it. It gets boring at some points. It's a very down movie. Not entirely its fault because, the building block main protagonist passed away in real life, so it's hard to pick up the pieces after that. But it's just not my favorite MCU, very middle of the road MCU for me. Next movie, Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. Oh my god. F tier. I hate this movie. This was the other one I was talking about. Quantumania and Multiverse of Madness should have been the foundation of the multiverse saga, and Quantumania just loses the plot and is so bad. You get you get so much shit in this movie. It's hard for me to even talk about this, how bad it is. And Kang, okay, I'll get into Kang. He's cool. He's great in Loki. You get great stuff from the one above all, or not the one above all. Sorry, the He Who Remains in Loki, and he's a Kang variant. And he's at the start of this movie. This version of Kang is so built up, and he's actually menacing at the start. For him to be taken down by fucking giant ants kills me. How do you plan to set up your Avengers movie around a guy who gets killed by ants? It's just so fucking stupid. This movie is genuinely rage bait, and I hate it. I just hate this movie. It's gonna be a pain to rewatch. This is one that I'm not looking forward to going back to, and it's just bad. You get Bill Murray, who's just some weird ass character who doesn't do anything to the story. Hank Pym is just kind of along for the ride. Hope is kind of along for the ride as well. Janet is all weird and goofy, and she doesn't tell him that Kang's there, which, why would you not tell him that Kang's there? It's some taboo thing that you can't talk about, but it's like so important to the story that they should know. Like, it's so infuriating how bad this movie is. Like, literally, I don't think this movie has any redeeming qualities. And I haven't even fucking talked about MODOK yet. Oh my god, abysmal. Like, I don't even know. F tier, bottom of F tier. But thank God we can talk about this movie. Guardians 3 is going in my S tier. I love this movie. It's such a great wrap for the Guardians. I'm so glad I don't have to talk about Quantumania anymore. Holy shit. Guardians 3. So great. Great soundtrack. After Endgame and after Infinity War, you get to pick up with our characters who are kind of not lost, but, regrouping after Gamora dies and comes back. She's not a part of the squad anymore, but kind of gets integrated back in. Get the introduction of Adam Warlock, who becomes, part of the team toward the end. He gets a redemption moment. Um, the High Evolutionary is such a menacing villain, just villainous throughout. It's what I like about Guardians, especially like the two better Guardians movies, 1 and 3. The villains are just bad, and without like trying to, pull the rug over your eyes with like ego or, like sympathize with these villains a little bit. When they're just bad, it gives us more time. Now, I don't want this to be for every movie because my favorite one is Thanos, and yeah, he is bad, but if you ever get the internet to start saying, Thanos might be right, like it is interesting when you can have that happen. And I don't want every villain to just be I am evil, but I think it works really well with the Guardians because what makes the Guardians great is their connection between each other, their relationships within the group and within the Guardians. And when a villain's bad and you don't have to spend time on, giving him more character development, you get the Guardians you give the Guardians more time to have their own development between each other and to build those relationships. And I just think Guardians 3 really works. You get them kind of operating at full capacity. It's a little awkward with Gamora, but they're kind of flying through. Rocket, obviously very sad story with his animal friends, and they're all sad for Rocket. It's just such an emotional movie. The ending, we were all going into this thinking people were gonna die. They all survive. They go their separate ways. They get their happy endings that make sense for them. Like Rocket gets to be the leader that he never was supposed to be, in quotations, because he evidently was. You get Groot being Groot. Star-Lord goes home, gets a full story, gets to go back to his like original family. Drax gets to be the father he never got to be with his kid. Gamora finds her new family. Adam Warlock joins the family. Mantis goes off. I don't really know what she's going to do. That was kind of just like a little bit of a throwaway, but I really love the ending for all these characters, and we'll probably see most of them again, but for what Guardians 3 is and how emotional it was for me, it's a top 5 movie for me in the MCU. Next we have the Marvels. I'm going to put the Marvels in C, but it's another borderline on B. Just a fun movie. This is one of the instances where the characters don't gel as well as the Guardians, and you have a villain who I'm not very sympathetic for, and I think she's just kind of bad for bad and, not the greatest villain. So it doesn't work as well as the Guardian movies. But, the dynamic between the three characters of Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica are pretty good. I mean, I enjoy it for the most part, but overall, I thought this movie was fun. You get Nick Fury back, but, kind of just middle of the road again. Not the greatest, a fun watch, but nothing revolutionary for the MCU. You do get like the post-credit scene with Beast and the X-Men implementing it. I don't think this was the movie to do that, if I'm being honest. Like, it might be very important for Doomsday, but at the same time, that's what these movies should have been doing. Setting up our villain and showing the scope of the multiverse, not just going to... I'm not getting into it, but the Marvels, fun movie. C tier. Next, Deadpool and Wolverine. Another fun one that kind of almost does a better job of exploring the multiverse than the ones that should have, especially looking at you, Multiverse Madness. I said I'm not getting into it. I won't. I'm sorry. But fun movie. Deadpool and Wolverine bouncing off each other. Very fun. You get Gambit, you get Blade back, you get Elektra, you get Chris Evans, Human Torch, who dies. Very fun. I don't love Cassandra Nova. I just thought that character was kind of tedious. Definitely not my favorite villain. But overall, again, similar to the Marvels, just better and more entertaining is what Deadpool and Wolverine is to me. And it's going B tier for that. We got 3 movies left. All came out last year, so pretty fresh in my brain. Captain America 4 is going D tier for me. Bad movie. Not a great movie at all. has some redeeming qualities. I do like Anthony Mackie as Captain America. It works, but he should have taken the fucking serum. Like the point, I feel like the point of Captain America was he got the serum because of who he was before the serum. And Anthony Mackie is that same way. Not to a T to, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, but shares those same values and morals. And, you know, I think he just needs it. Like, he's not fighting a Red Hulk. He's not fighting angry Harrison Ford in this movie. Like, it doesn't work. We're talking the Hulk down at the end again. We've seen it enough, man. Give it a rest. I really hope that Brand New Day doesn't do the same shit, because that'd be, I can't see that 8 different times in 6 different movies. It's too much. Cap 4, we have really bad character. Like, the leader isn't great. You know, Giancarlo Esposito's like Serpent Squad isn't great. Red Hulk, cool character design, but just like the worst kept secret ever. You put him in the trailer just to like build up to seeing him, even though like the whole marketing was us seeing him. So it's like we know it's coming and we wait for the last 10 minutes to see it. Stupid as fuck. I do really like the like dogfight scene in this movie around Celestial in the ocean from Eternals. I thought that was a really cool scene. But other than that, like, nothing really great about this movie at all. Some stuff from Falcon and Winter Soldier comes back. Just doesn't really do it for me. And it's going D tier for me. But now we got Thunderbolts, which is a good movie, and it is going A tier. This is an example of a squad that does bounce off each other very well, and I enjoyed this movie a lot. The introduction of Sentry and Bob was good a good addition to the MCU. He was OP as Sentry, very cool. The Void was super sweet to see, even though it wasn't as dangerous as I had hoped it was after seeing stuff from it. Bob, the character, is a fun character. John Walker is great in this movie. You kind of delve deeper into like his backstory. I don't love how comedic they're kind of turning him. He should kind of border that line of like sometimes being funny, but he still needs to be somewhat serious. Like, unbend his shield, please. Come on. Yelena's great in this movie. She's pretty much great in everything. She is one of the carriers of these past 2 phases of the MCU. Ghost is good in this movie. Bucky's pretty great in this movie. Overall, you have Allegra D. Fontaine, or whatever her name is. After seeing so much building from other movies and especially the shows, we're finally seeing something from that. That really infuriated me throughout the shows. Like, it was building for so long that it just felt like it was just not going to go anywhere. Like a Moon Knight or She-Hulk or any of the Marvel shows that we saw during this time frame leading up to Thunderbolts. It didn't really feel like anything was going in any direction, and for it to actually pay off was something cool. It shows how misguided the MCU was after Endgame. But Thunderbolts, good movie, very good, like, heartfelt movie, and I really enjoyed it. Red Guardian, cool in it. It's an A tier movie for me. And last but not least, Fantastic Four. I'm gonna go A tier as well for Fantastic Four. It could be recency bias because this movie was a tiny bit dull for me, but at the same time, I really enjoyed it. I thought we got really good performances from all 4 of the Fantastic Four. I think the best was Sue Storm in this movie. She was kind of carrying a little bit. Didn't get as much as I wanted out of, Mr. Fantastic Reed in this movie, but I still thought his scenes were good. That space scene for all of them was really great. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the scene with Galactus, like, before the space scene and all that. Final battle, kind of lackluster, but I mean, Franklin has crazy powers, revives his mom. Good enough. I thought everything with Silver Surfer was really great. Johnny, especially. And The Thing also had some pretty cool moments. But overall, I just thought it was a really good Fantastic Four story. A very good, just, you know, um, blanking on it now, even though I've said it a million times. Origin story ish for the Fantastic Four. Not truly their origin, but their introduction story. Pretty standard, but thought it did it a little better than some of these in B tier. Like, I prefer Fantastic Four over like the Doctor Strange or the Ant-Man movie. So, A tier for that. Now let's get to organizing these. This is already good. Worst movie for me is Quantumania. After this, I think for D tier, I think the worst is the Hulk, and then Iron Man 2. I'm hoping this movie gets better on rewatch because after watching the first one, I have faith and hope for it. Then Cap, and then I'll put Thor 2 at the top of D. For C tier, I do enjoy the Marvels a little more than Thor. I enjoy Black Widow a little more than Thor. I think I'll keep it in this order. I think that works good. For B tier, this is going to be the hardest. So I think what I want to do is figure out my top movies here. And based off this, I think the next one that's going to join it is gonna be Civil War. I'm going to keep it in this order because I think this is the concrete order for me here. And then the last one, I'm going to put Spider-Man No Way Home. So those are going to be my top 5 right now before rewatch of the full MCU. And then, after Doomsday, I'll revisit this with Doomsday in the list and give you my updated version. Doomsday and Brand New Day in the list and give you my updated version. Let's go through A now. I think Avengers, Guardians, and Avengers. I'll probably put Endgame above Avengers just because it's Endgame at the just it's the conclusion. It's just so great. I think that's good. I think I'm going to put Ragnarok over Captain America as well as Thunderbolts, and then I'm going to leave it like that. I'm probably going to move Iron Man down, Doctor Strange down, Iron Man, Wakanda Forever is probably last in this, then Iron Man 3. Actually, I said Eternals was last, and that is correct. Eternals is last. Black Panther 2, Iron Man 2, probably Doctor Strange, and then Guardians 2, Ant-Man, Deadpool, and then I think and then I think Far From Home, Shang-Chi. Spider-Man Homecoming, and then Avengers Age of Ultron at the top of there. I think that's my list. This whole section probably could change. But yeah, that's my list. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Small video coming to kind of explain the series coming leading up to Doomsday. And then the Iron Man video will drop. And I'll see you then. Peace.